Hello, everybody. We are Geeks Assembled. As usual, I'm joined by Susan, and this week
Hello.
we are sitting down. Yeah, hello. Delayed reaction. She's in America, you see, so it's a
Hello.
delayed reaction. It's not like that
And
nowadays, is it?
then and they just canceled TikTok, so this is riding on an
Well,
internet that they're probably throttling down now.
but anyways, get back to what we're doing. Um, we're discussing the second season of a series we discussed over a year ago for the first season.
Yeah.
And it's just finally, the second season's finally just come out now. We are discussing The Rig, um, six-parter in this second season, um, about a company cover-up, about the results of what we do to the planet, and of the consequences, what can happen, the danger to human life, um, and of course, bullying
And
is
of
a big
course.
part in this one. So we're going to go over to Susan for your thoughts on the second season of The Rig. Over to you, Susan.
Yeah, I just would like to say that that the ice, once these creatures had created ice pretties, it was very pretty ice. Oh my gosh, that was
Yeah.
gorgeous. And yeah, so they're in the Arctic. They got picked up in the North Sea and dropped into the Arctic Ocean.
Yeah.
And basically the same setup. Great big huge platform rig, uh and a big tube down to the seafloor. And they are the reason that they're there is because they were really scared with what happened in the first season, the whole connective tissue of the ancestor
Mhm.
really freaked him out. And so they were down there looking to create uh, a weapon that they could use against the heart of the ancestor, which I think is really, by the way that they created it, the creators obviously had watched a lot of Avatar recently. I have to say that I mean, they could have gone the way the Lorax was, or they could have gone the way Avatar was, and they went the way Avatar was. And yeah, so they had uh the same crew. Mark Addy, Emily Hampshire, Martin Compston, and Owen Teal, and of course, there was Owen Addy, or um, Mark Addy, excuse me, and like they're still coming to blows with each other. There's always like crushing independent thinking, uh crushing basically any spirit or any hope or whatever. And they just did uh it was pretty intense. And Coke, played by Addie, was such a good character. I mean, good meaning bad.
Yeah.
He was a fucking amazing antagonist. You know, so rough and hateful and stuff. It was great. And Lee, you mentioned the bullying. Well, a lot of the bullying came from Coke.
It did.
And
And Bremner.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Bremner, played by Phil McKee. Yeah, that guy was rough too.
Yeah.
Those two, you know, Bremner actually kind of sounded like he was in the same sort of mindset with the rest of the crew,
Mhm.
but it turns out he was not there. He was in it entirely for himself.
Mhm.
And I just, I really love how they did a redemption arc on Morgan Lennox, the CEO of the thing. You know, she went through a complete turnaround, 180 degrees from complete bitch, evil henchman of the corporation
Yeah.
to someone with a hell of a lot more going on than all of that. And that's kind of why you know, a redemption arc amongst folks that are playing evil characters is are kind of fun because you get to see what it change looks like. Anyway, I do enjoy this series, and you know, at first you thought it was going to be something like Armageddon, but then now it's like where everybody wanted to get off the rig, and then this time once they dropped it in the North Pole Sea or the Arctic Ocean, they the interesting thing was is that nobody wanted to get off, partly because it was so freaking cold out there, and partly because and nobody lost body parts due to frostbite, which I'm like, that's not possible. They'd be frostbite. But if they're in with the ancestor, then who the hell knows, actually?
Who knows?
This is just me speaking, but when you're dealing with something that sort of biologically impressive, do you really want to, like, you know, uh, it's just amazing anyway.
Mm.
And back over to you, Lee. What's your opening thoughts on this?
Well, at the end of the first, I wondered what was going to happen. Well, it was left on a big cliffhanger with
Hmm.
this tsunami crushing the original rig and heading towards land.
Hmm.
And the chopper who rescued so many of the workforce off the rig. Um, where were they going to take this? Where was it good? Where was this series going to go? Um, and of course, it went to the ice. Um, and of course, there's another rig, but this time this is more of a scientific rig, as you say, with this thing on the seabed. You know, the labs and the science, you know, all like that. And there they are, the nearer the heart of the ancestor, but it discovered it in the first place. Discovered this new form of life, this creature, whatever you want to call it, and then turns out they want to destroy it. Kirk wants to destroy it. They've got a weapon what can do it, um,
They
and
think it can do it, but
yeah, because it's never been proven. You know, they've never used it as yet. But
and they've never injected it. They didn't inject it to those tubes.
no, um,
So, go ahead.
but then in this season you get to uh, see more of the company who Kirk works for, Pictor, with the head of the company being Lennox, played by Alex Krieg.
Alice Creed.
Yes, we'll we'll mention something about that later. But yeah, as you've said, right, real bitchy. Um, she sort of gets her comeuppance in the by the end of the series, but you say by a redemption, but also as well, her career is well and truly over because she's been stitched up by the company
Uh-huh.
as the scapegoat.
Yep.
Uh, I found there was one thing I didn't quite grasp, and I thought, is all the survivors were given a choice of signing this waiver and you can leave, but do not mention anything you've seen or heard. And the other half said, no, I'm not signing that. And they stayed on the rig. Where was all the other workers on this new rig? There wasn't that many people there, was there? The size of that rig, you would expect a full crew.
Mhm.
And at most, you saw a few handful of people walking in the background, but nothing else. And I
Mhm.
thought, well, that's a bit strange. With all the what was going on in the rig, and I thought you'd have seen more people. Um, and also as well, how easy everything was handed over to Rose.
Yeah.
I mean, they were fighting again what happened on the original rig and what the company was doing to the ancestor. And all of a sudden, Lennox just handed over everything, all the operators and all the people, like what's his name, played by England, what's his name, Magnus, handed everything over to them. And I'm thinking, well, would they have done that with Coke still being there?
No.
Wow, that was a bit. I don't know what's going on there. Um, but yeah, great great storytelling. Not hard to follow.
Yeah.
Um, great for TV. Great special effects. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, all the isolation of the seabed when you're in that the little, what do you call it, the rover.
Uh-huh.
You won't get me in one of them.
Huh.
Tell you that. Yeah, it was an interesting. Also, as well, it was interesting because you get the character of Owen Teal, the Doctor. What's her name? Oh, I forgot her name now.
Cat.
Cap. Yeah, she was looking for.
Braithwaite. At home with the Braithwaites.
Yeah, those were two of them who signed the waiver to go home. So they left all their friends on the new rig. They went home to all the disaster on the east side, north side of the UK, what the tidal wave had hit. So they're in all the, what do you call it, the medical camps set up with all the survivors and all the dead, trying to find her wife,
Mm-hmm.
um, which was a good good sort of side storyline. But I like Owen Teal. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he is.
But I thought he'd have been much better staying on the rig, giving him a bit of a storyline on the rig
Mm-hmm.
than being
Okay.
on land. But it still added to it, I suppose. Because
Yeah, I guess you could say that Lars Hutton had gone through his own redemption at the end of
yeah,
the first season. There had to be like one redemption in this. I think that that's just good storytelling, but I also think that it's a way of really connecting to the audience.
yeah,
Is that you just want somebody to have a redemption, and it was like Lars Hutton really, the Owen Teal character really went from being someone who was completely not trustworthy and completely 100% for the company to
yeah,
someone who was able to, with a certain nuance, work his way through.
yeah,
And that
yeah,
was that was amazing. I love how he was the one who grabbed Lennox and forced Lennox to come to the side of the bed with Kat and her wife, and like that was that was really amazing. I mean, and then by making him sort of a good protagonist, um, it gave uh it gave that other character played by the Braithwaite, Cat Braithwaite, played by Rosenda Sandal, It gave her the um I mean, it made it so that she could be really depressed, really angry, really
Grumpy.
fearful. Yeah,
Yeah.
all of the stuff all the scenery that she ate during
All,
her.
yeah, all the negativity. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good pairing. And then the other thing that was really cool was that at Easter came
Yeah.
came to his own realization, and then he came out to Harish, and
Yeah.
he was like, I want you with me forever, like not just a little bit, I want you physically with me.
But was he listening?
See,
Because
yeah, good
he,
question. Oh my
he,
God.
he was paying more attention to the screen, what was going on with
Uh-huh.
the Bremner and the gun and all like that. When Easter
Uh-huh.
was sort of saying things to him, I don't think he was hearing what he was
Oh.
saying.
Oh, so that's probably something that will come up if they do another season.
If they're doing it the season because they've sort of left it no cliffhanger.
But
So
there is another story that could be told. They
yes,
could do a
yeah.
story about, this rig not being a scientific rig anymore and back to its
Mm.
original function, which
I would like maybe a third and final series, but
yeah,
in this day and age, you don't know with these streaming sites which series are going to get the third or even second series. Um,
yeah,
Looking at it being a scientific rig, I did like the character of Askell, the scientist.
yeah, good.
He was sort of shy to begin with, very wary about people,
Hmm.
uh, and then slowly he came out of his shell, defied
Yeah,
the company, sided with all the other, the good guys, and he was really the one who figured out how to use the sound,
right.
especially
Absolutely.
you know he said it's some sort of message or calling to the ancestor or something like that.
Right.
But a nice, a good character. His development was good. So, any
Agreed. And the other thing was here's where I bring those tubes of blue ancestor sparkles back into into this discussion is that I don't think Askell wanted to do any more experiments on the ancestor at all. He
Mhm.
had seen the work that was done on the rig when it was in the North Sea, and he had a different he had a, he was really trying to communicate. He was really trying to get to know this instead of exploiting it. And I think that that was really cool. And and so that's why I don't think that even with the poison that they were planning on shooting into the heart of the ancestor, which was basically a big tree, kind of
Mm,
an underwater tree with a really big root system and then glowy bits, and then it went up and
Tree of Life.
it was very much Avatar, okay? It was all of that stuff and the sparklies and then like the way that it made the ice all pretty. I mean, like there was so much cool stuff. I mean, what do you call that? I think Susan and I were talking earlier and she was telling me about pancake ice, and I think that that's part of it. And so there's like this
Uh-huh.
natural phenomenon and then like these other phenomenon like the phosphorescence of the whole ocean everywhere in the world.
Mm,
I mean, that was so magical
that was
and
really nice.
Avatar-ish. But the other thing that was really interesting about that whole thing was the fact that they were trying to use it to remove the connection of the ancestor in the bodies of people who had been in the water or
Yeah.
who had touched it in the lab or on the other when the rig was on the other spot and it was all that life around in that one guy's office, that one laboratory office that just like exploded with new life. All that stuff got inside
Yeah.
people and they were changed by it and they became sort of a connection, an emotional, physiological, maybe even mental connection to this creature. And you don't really think of trees as being a sentient life, but this one seemed to be because it
Mm.
really, really, really reacted to the sound of its own singing or whatever.
I mean, there's another character, a new character in this, Cameron, the who was the diver.
Hmm.
Um, he went through a lot in this.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean, straight away you knew he was a good guy,
Yep.
and he was the one who got the copy of the Rover broadcast. Um, and he went through hell with Coke and Bremner.
Yeah,
Um,
there was lots of bullying there to remind you of where you started this podcast
I'm,
at.
I'm so yeah, I'm so glad that they didn't really kill off
Yeah.
Cameron in this because he was a good character. Um, as I say, he did see off one of the bad guys in a good in a an awesome way.
Hmm.
Um, good old Mark Addy, of course. But I think the Cameron thing sort of made Easter more open to his feelings
Hmm.
because you could see the way he was touching his hands on the gears and all like that. He was looking at him and I'm thinking, there's something going on with Cameron and the other guy because they knew each other. Um, and then, of course, Easter declares his love for him later on.
Hmm.
So a love triangle.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Oh.
oh. But
And
any,
this is the second time that we've been listening or watching Owen Teal working recent works.
mm,
The Discovery of Witches from the teens, and then this, which is, from the 20s, and we really are seeing Owen Teal like embody these enormously powerful characters. I love that. I love what he's doing these days.
yeah.
He's such a good actor.
Oh, God, we remember him from years ago, don't we? Years and years ago.
Uh-huh.
Oh, way back in the early 80s, Vengeance on Varos.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that was so cool. Yeah.
any things, scenes, or anything what really stand out for you?
Well, like all the underwater stuff, that was great. I really love. I didn't know why there weren't any fish around. Okay, that really. I recognized
Mm.
that there wouldn't have been the mammals like the whales or the dolphins or any of. Uh, I mean, you wouldn't assume you'd see sharks either because there's no bigger prey, but you just assume that there would be like some fishy stuff under the water.
I don't know. Maybe it's just too cold for life.
I I don't think that there is anywhere in the ocean that's too cold for life.
Mm.
But I did notice that there was a big drop off from the maybe what was the Canadian continental shield down in into a super deep part of the ocean. That to me was really cool too. I loved
Mm.
the underwater stuff. I thought that that was really cool. And then I also liked the because as we've, you know, if we watch submarine stories, there's always a chance of that vehicle collapsing and breaking open, and like the people that are in there, freezing to death and or, you know, just running out of oxygen or whatever, or space if it crushes them.
Yeah, yeah,
There's so much pressure underwater. It's just amazing. So like anyway, that was something that I was like kind of ruminating on while they were exploring. I mean, and the other thing is, after a while it was more about what was on the flight recorder of that other rover
yeah.
versus versus any of the science that was going on. I liked how they took the focus off the science and put it on the people. And that
Yeah.
was a really good technique. And there was all this back and forth thing with that little yellow cartridge that looked like a didn't it look like an 8-track?
It did, yeah. Showing our age.
Showing our age.
Mm. One of one of the scenes I really did like was the car on the ice. Um, that was an amazing. There's no way would you get me in a car on the ice,
Oh, that's right.
going at that speed in a blizzard,
Uh-huh.
blind.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you could have just got some straight into the water. What?
Uh-huh.
But great scene.
Yeah.
With all the lights under the ice and
Uh-huh.
amazing scenes that. And also another thing, the standout thing for me was it. This is where we're going to have a conversation about this. Alex Krieg, what has she done to her face?
What you mean? What's she done to her face?
Oh, come on. She's not had no work done, has she? No, I haven't.
Oh,
Oh
you
my
think
God.
it's all plastic surgery?
She couldn't move the top lip. She was like that.
Yeah, maybe that's just Botox though.
Well,
I don't know.
it gives you that natural look, doesn't it? Well, I know we get old and all like that, and people try and stay young
Mhm.
as much as they can, but when you resort to looking like that, then you've gone a bit too far. I'm sorry. Uh,
Okay.
I'm not knocking her acting. I'm just saying I was quite shocked to see how she looked because we all know Alex Krieg is the Bald Queen, so she's under makeup on that. I've seen her in other things from a few years back, and she didn't look like that. So I just had to get it out there.
All right, that's
If
fine.
anybody knows, has she had anything done? Let me know. It's got nothing to do with us, really, is it?
Yeah,
So
well, um, you know, we haven't, we don't have the kind of watchers that would predicate, you know, me putting on some slap and doing these podcasts, but
that's
I'm also not worried about aging so
no,
much. I kind of I like the way, some of the older people in my family look, so I'm perfectly okay with that. But all that to say that I really think that I don't know if she had a bunch of work done or if that was actually prosthetics to make her look older.
Oh, I don't know about that. Well, she's old. I think she's in her 70s.
Oh yeah, she was born in 54. You're right.
So yeah, I don't know, but I mean, if these actors grew old gracefully, and aged gracefully in their career,
Hmm.
they are open. They're more open to these parts played by older, for older people instead
Hmm.
of having your face plastered and stretched and all year old. You're not going to get those parts, are you? You're not going to get a 60-year-old, even if you are 79 in real life.
Hmm.
It's grow gracefully, play those parts. You most probably win an Oscar,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
I don't
Or in
know.
this case, an Emmy,
An Emmy,
a
yeah,
BAFTA,
BAFTA. Is that a Globe or is that an Emmy? Golden Globe, is that an Emmy?
Golden Globe. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but anyways, we digress. We're talking about somebody's features here. We don't want to really draw on it too much, but you could do because it was as smooth as a blackboard. You could draw on it.
Oh.
So, anything else, Susan, before we go to final scene score?
Yeah. The you know when they told Kat to go Braithwaite to go to the wall or go to that gate, and she went to the gate and it's just covered with photos from folks that just reminded me of Yanto's shrine and some of the things that happen over in your neck of the woods. We don't have that kind of like putting a whole bunch of stuff down near something. I mean that hasn't really happened here yet. So, but that was really amazing. You know, that was very much sort of emotionally that pulled at the heartstrings quite nicely. And yeah, and you were I was surprised. I thought that she'd be sent out and they knew where or they knew that Braithwaite had that the other lady was around there somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. And the way she came in all cracked up and stuff, and I mean, and then you know the the fact that that shooting with the getting a shot of the ancestor caused you to have super quick healing and you know
Yeah.
resolution to broken skin and all that stabby stuff that happened. I mean, that was so ET. Anyway, it was great. I really liked it. I'm jazzed about the ancestor and all the good stuff that had to do. And it's a good story about it. And yeah. Anyway,
So
so I will give this
let's go to final scene score. And so what we
9 tubes of sparkle out of 10. I just love those sparkly tubes. And I suggest that you get a chance if you get a chance to watch it, do do so. It's so good.
yeah. It
Back
is.
over
It
to
is.
you, Lee.
If you haven't seen the first series, I would recommend watching the first series before watching the second series. So it's a
Yes.
continuation. Um, yeah, I agree. It's a great story, great acting. Um, it's only 6 parts in this, so it flies by. So they fit so much into it. Um, yeah, I'm gonna give it. Yeah, I'm gonna give it nine. Nine. Nine icicles out of 10 because it was pretty chilly out there.
Oh.
Um, and it was a great thing that this rig moved. It was
Uh-huh.
a movable
They
rig.
all
It
are
was
in a
great
way. Yeah.
because the other normal rigs are just Yeah, so that's our little review of the second season of The Rig. I hope you've enjoyed our little discussion, and it's hope we haven't given too much away series, but hey ho, you can't escape spoilers and leaks these days.
And if you're watching this, you may have already
So
seen it, but otherwise
what
you
can you
can
do,
see it.
guys? Yeah, we haven't really gone episode per episode, so there's quite a lot in there we haven't discussed. Um, please, guys, leave a comment on this video. Let us know what you thought of the series, or let us messages and say you'd like to join us in these casts. This video will be shared out on all the social media platforms, so you'll find us on them all. Just leave a message. If you want to join us, the only thing is we ask of you is to be 18 plus, because some of the things we talk about were 18 rated. You've got to have a working camera and microphone on your device you use, and you can join us. It's usually on a Sunday night in the UK at 9 p.m. In America, it's what, about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
Mhm. 4.
4 o'clock in the afternoon. There we go. There's so many different time zones in America.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous. If you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, please remember to press the bell notification button. You'll get notified every time we put one up. So I think that's it, Susan. See, it's
Yep.
not working. It's not ringing again. It's not dinging, dinging, dinging. You can only hear that bell when Susan uses her phone for some
Yeah, it's weird.
reason. Strange. So yeah, that'll be the end of this. So guys, please be safe. Look after the environment, because you know this is a good environment story, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye for now.